You got to be kidding me, folks. That's right. We're back again. Another episode, new backgrounds. As you can see, we're having a little fun with this now, but we had to step our game up. Tell them what we got, Captain. Whoa, are you there?
Here I am, everyone. I'm here again.
Oh,
Blended into the background. You can't see me. You don't know when I'm here. When I'm not here, it's Halloween's coming up. Anyway, folks, today we are talking baseball again. We're talking softball and baseball this week in our classes, so we're talking a little bit of baseball. But specifically this week, we're talking coaching styles. We're talking coaching styles of coaches. And there's no one that knows coaching styles better than our very own Coach Frazier. Speaking of coaching styles, Coach Frazier, tell us what coaching style you consider yourself to have.
coaching style. I have to say this. In 17 years of coaching now, actually as an assistant coach as well, I'm getting up there. It's a lot of big numbers getting in there for me, folks. But my coaching style has changed over the course of time. But I personally believe that a coach's style should fit their players. So I think it's something that changes team to team, maybe even month to month, game to game. But the style should fit the team that they are particularly coaching. And I think that goes for any sport. Your style fits your players because you can't have a team without players.
You can't have a team without a coach either, and you have to have some kind of kids know what you need to know what's going in, what kind of style you are, what kind of coach you are. I mean, you have to set that groundwork early, and you have to let them know that I'm a player's coach. I'm gonna take advice from you guys. I'm gonna ask you guys opinions on things, and I'm gonna take that into account. Opposed to we're gonna do it this way because this way is gonna work because I've been doing it for 17, 18, 19 years. I know what works. This is what we're gonna do.
See, I kind of consider that as a hybrid. I'm more of a hybrid person. I think it blends in to what needs to be done in that particular moment because there are certain things that I know will work in certain situations, but there are still certain things that I can learn from my players and that I can learn to make everything better, to make my team better. So I don't grab hold to one particular style. That's just me. I kind of adapt to it. I think the one thing that I would say about the style of coaching that I have that has changed the most about this, I started off as a coach where I was up and down the sideline and I was excited all the time and jumping around and yelling and screaming and changing calls.
And that's changed.
Yes, that's changed a lot actually. Now I'm more reserved. I don't even really get up and run around that much anymore compared to what I used to. No, I don't.
Please come to a game. Just watch it.
It's a lot less steps than it used to be. I think it's old age more than anything, though.
Again, I think this is one of these things times that we disagree with. I agree to what you're saying to an extent. Yeah, I think you do have to change and be a chameleon when you're coaching as far as different groups that you have. But I also feel like you need some sort of niche, some sort of thing that the kids know, that the kids expect, that the kids want. They don't think they want, when the game's tied with 7 seconds left in the game, they want to come in and, that's why, we hire coaches. We hire coaches to run the show, to do things, to be in charge. And I think feel like when you adapt and you switch back and forth, it becomes confusing to the kids. That's just my personal opinion. For instance, the guy that we talked about this earlier, the manager of the Tampa Bay Rays, when he came in there, he pretty much said, you may not like me. I'm going to make decisions. I might pinch hit for you. I may pull you out of games. I may pull you out before you think you need to go. And if you watch any of the World Series, he does that all the time. I mean, he pulls hitters when they're on deck getting ready to swing. And, last night or 2 nights ago, he pulled a guy that was 2 for 3 in the game. He was 2 for 3 with a double. Came out to the last inning. He was out there warming up. He pulled him in and put a pitch hitter in for him. Didn't give him a reason. Didn't give him an explanation. Let me go that way now. Do you feel like when you make decisions that you owe your kids an explanation of the decisions you made?
I'm one of those people where I think preparation is key. So when you're talking about adapting into a coaching style, there's one thing that happens. We have a routine, and our routine goes through every day. And I say in practice, we have a routine. They know what we're starting with. They know what to expect. And I think preparation is key. If you've watched me coach a ball game, I don't call timeout much. Timeouts are used at the end of the game when you need them in specific situations. I don't believe a minute can correct a mistake. You can't gain 12 points in a minute. You can't fix a mistake. But the day before in practice, preparation is important. So in the style of play is this. With 7 seconds left to go in a ball game, if the game is tied and you're playing a team for the fourth time in a year, which happens a lot in basketball, especially in our area, you're playing them for the fourth time and 7 seconds are left. And the first 3 times you played them, the games have gone in different directions. You have to be prepared as a coach. You have to know what the next step is going to be, but also you have to have the ability to freely change what you want to do at the last second. And I think that is something that most people don't get. Like, I feel like what you're talking about with the Tampa Bay Rays, I feel like it is a gut feeling. Like, I feel like this player hit well in warm-ups or hit well in batting practice. I'm going to put him in now. Or this player hits well against this pitcher. It might just be the feeling of we need this to get a momentum boost. I think that is a part of coaching. But I think establishing, back to what you were saying about you feel as if teams need that thing. I think the main thing they need is a stable routine, a stable guiding voice, and somebody that will adapt to their needs as a team, because not every team's going to be the same.
I agree. Again, yes, they do need that stable thing. And I believe in high school sports, it's even more important for a coach or a leader of a team to be that guy that makes the decisions and doesn't necessarily count on the views of high school or college kids. If you take it even to the next level, because again, there are times that you will text me at 2:00 in the morning, and just to leave me something when I'm wake up because I'm way asleep by that time. Or you'll come in and you'll be drinking your third Mountain Dew, and you'll say that I was up till 4 a.m. watching game film.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of your job. That's part of what you feel like your job is preparing yourself above and beyond. And so I don't feel like at game time anybody knows what's going on in that game more than you do because of your preparation. On the high school level and the college level, I don't think kids do that anymore. I think in the pros, where they're making money and they have to, the quarterbacks in the NFL, things like that, they watch a ton of game film. I feel like high school kids, college kids, for the most part, spend little time preparing mentally and knowing what's going to happen. Whereas in the pros and in where I feel like your job is, that's what you do. That's your MO. You know where number 7 is going to be standing on an inbounds pass from the right corner with 1 minute left. Whereas nobody else in the gym would know that. So I feel like if you take the opinions of people that are on the, assistant coaches that may not be as versed as you are, players, I feel like you have to be that guy.
Well, I'll give you an example of that, like what you said. Some people won't know what I'm saying, but I'll tell you guys something that I pride myself in. I'm a 95-5 guy. 95-5 are the numbers I use. 95% of the time when we come out on the floor, I want to know what's going on from the other end. I want to know what the other team's doing 95% of the time. 5% of the time, I think it's going to be unpredictable. And I'm going to give you a thing. When I got here to Leesville Road, it had been a long time since we beat Broughton in a basketball game at Leesville. It had been something like 7 or 8 years. I think maybe even more than that, since we had beaten Broughton in a JV or varsity basketball game on the boys' side. It was a long time. In my first year, we lost to them 4 times. Where we were going to play them the first time in my second year of the thing. And I noticed something. I noticed that they called a certain play and did a certain thing, and everything, the ball went to certain places when plays were called. So I took and showed my players the hand signals for the calls and showed them where the ball would get thrown to the hand signals. First quarter ended, we were up 28-4. First time we had beat them in a game. They threw us the ball like 8 times. Now, do I think that was a key to the stuff? Yes. But the main part about knowing where it was, it took me forever to find those hand signals. I think nowadays people have lost patience more than they have the want to do that. I think it takes a lot of patience to watch a video and pick out certain things like that.
I feel like I need to be talking like this.
I'm looking at you,
I feel
yes.
like I need to be talking like this, like I'm talking, like we're having a conversation on TV.
That's what I'm doing.
You've been looking at me.
Yeah, because you're beside me. I was just talking to you.
We're not really beside each other. We're 6 feet apart.
Yes, we are.
Table, and he keeps looking down the other end of the table. That's where we are. So,
I can't reach into his camera.
yeah, so he can't touch me. So that's what I'm saying. But I feel like I need to be talking this way, so it looks like we're talking to each other, but we're really not.
I overblew that too, folks. I talked a little bit too much
It
about
was
it.
a little bit long, and I wanted to tell him to time. I wanted to call it timeout. But again, back to the timeouts, and we're not gonna talk too much longer about this. But timeouts, again, yes, you don't call timeouts. And again, it's one of those times that I'm standing over here, along the wall, disagreeing with you not calling timeout. I knew that from you from day one, that you don't ever really call timeouts. But I feel like there are times you call timeouts, not just because you're not going to score 12 points in a minute. You're not going to fix a problem in a minute. But I feel like a lot of coaches call timeouts to stop momentum. You know, there is a such thing as momentum that happens in a game. And when if a team has a fast break, dunks the ball, you bring the ball out, turn it over, team scores again. All of a sudden you bring it out, another turnover down the other end, they come back and score. They've scored 3 or 4 buckets in a row. I feel like it's a momentum switch. You got to stop it. You got to slow it down. You got to do something to break it. And I'm over here going crazy about call timeout, and you don't call timeout. So why was that not a momentum break opposed to trying to fix something?
That is a thing that I'll say. You talk about being a player's coach. As a player, I hated somebody calling timeout to tell me I had made a mistake. I hated somebody calling timeout to tell me that they had just made a dunk or they had a run. So I preface for my players, you're going to work your way through it. High school sports is about teaching life lessons. Things aren't going to go your way, folks. Sometimes it's not going to go your way. And you know what you don't get in life, folks? You don't get to call timeout. You can't call timeout in life and stop what you're going. You have to keep fighting through it. Sometimes you have to fight your way through it. And in the end, if you can fight your way through that, that's how you win. And in my opinion, that's some of the reasons why I don't call timeouts. And the other part is I believe in the guys on the floor to get through it. Sometimes I'll make substitutions to get people's confidence back on the game, but most of the time I'll let them play through it.
I feel like I was Rocky's son listening to Rocky talk to me on the street. Like, it's not how many times you get punched, it's how many times you get back after being punched. I feel like Rocky was just talking to me there. I felt like I was getting spoken to like a let's go play right now, I'm ready to go. Again, I disagree completely. I think you have to stop. You control the controllables. You can control the speed of what they're scoring. You can call a timeout, and you don't have to say a word to kids. Kids understand you're stopping a momentum. Get some water. That's it. You don't have to tell them what they did wrong. You don't have to tell them they dunked the ball. Kids understand you're stopping a momentum break. You're causing momentum to stop. And that's in every sport in the world, football, anything. Pitchers do it in baseball. They tell timeout, they get a new ball. You know, again, go back to one of our favorite movies, For the Love of the Game. He wanted a new ball to slow it down because his arm was hurt. He threw the ball in. Yes, everybody knows I'm stalling. You're stalling. Yes, that's a tactic. That's what you do. So, again, don't call timeout to tell a kid he did something wrong. Call timeout to stop the other team or to slow the other team doing what they're doing. Things like that. You can call timeout and never even talk to the team.
Compete or retreat. I'm gonna compete.
I don't think you're retreating. That's not retreating. That's slowing down.
I'm gonna save my timeout for when I need to score.
Slowing down. Anyway, folks, again, we find another thing that we can sometimes agree with, sometimes we disagree with, but in the end, we always agree to disagree. So until next time, folks, enjoy the day.